my best friend.
So we've only been here for 5 minutes.
I know, even though I'm a general member. Which you can apply during this upcoming fall at the Sac State Circle K Facebook page. Go ahead and join if you can. Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of our little podcast called Sac State Couch KI. I'm your host, Elijah Nate Kamtugan, but you can call me Eli. And I'm with my co-host,
Humble servant.
And today we are going to be interviewing a very special guest. Two very special guests, because this is not what we had planned today until it just happened. But
we're making do with what we got.
We're making do with what we got. So introduce yourselves to the mic.
Hello, my name is Chio, otherwise known as Mr. Presidente of Sac State Circle K. I am a third-year ethnic studies major, and yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And also we are here with...
I'm Myki. I'm the Vice President of Administration at Sac State CKI, and I'm a third-year majoring in social work.
All right. So we have two members on our very e-board for the upcoming 2021-2022. It's been a very long year. Everything's just starting to blend into 1 year, you guys.
Honestly, this entire pandemic made everything, like the end of like 1920, 2021, and then 21-22, it's all just one year.
Yeah, so at this point, I just think we're in a very long 2020, but we're definitely in 2021. With everything that's kind of happening with classes being in person and online, and everything for our club at least being somewhat in person for the most part, I just wanted to have this little podcast to kind of reintroduce what our club's about, who our fellow board members are, and talking about future events that are coming our ways throughout the term. So obviously I wanted to start off this very first podcast with two members of our esteemed e-board, but I would like to actually ask you guys for a very first question: what is Circle K International? So who would like to answer this question? This is a very loaded question, but try to say it as best you can, as like Pablo right here is new member. You're a new member. Role play.
I thought Mitzi was answering.
No, you're a new member. Like, ask the question. What is Circle K International?
All right, Mitzi. What is Circle K International?
How do you know her name?
Eli just gave it.
You can hold.
She can hold it all the way.
Should I give like an elevator pitch?
Elevator pitch.
Circle K International, I would say, is a collegiate service organization under the Kiwanians International. I'm nervous. Anyways.
We're starting off the podcast at a very strong note, you guys.
It's funny. Good joke.
I would say if you like meeting new people, having opportunities for like leadership and service, you should definitely join. There's definitely layers to Circle K that's pretty complicated, but I would say once you're in it, you have people there to guide you, and mostly it's supposed to be fun. And yeah, that's what I would say. What about you?
What about you, Mr. President?
You would be better at this.
All right. Well, so Circle K International is essentially a student-led service organization for college students, and the whole point is so that way people new to college or new to education get the chance to meet other people and bond and do things and develop skills that otherwise would be more limited for college students. So stuff like learning how to make slides or presentations, public speaking, stuff like that is something that Circle K kind of like develops as you become a part of it. In addition to that, you also make friends, you also bond, you get to know people, and you could potentially find roommates, you could potentially find like best friends, and like future like comrades and stuff. Yeah, yeah, comrades.
Comrades, yeah.
Comrades.
I like to say that, especially for a club. We are indeed comrades. Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, comrades.
I don't know where you're going with this, but exactly. Okay, good elevator pitch. So you guys are, we're me and Pablo. Nice to meet you. My name's Eli.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, so this is our first general meeting. We don't know anything about the club. You guys introduced us at the booth, like, it's Club Rush. You guys are telling us all about Circle K and what it's all about, but I'm a little bit confused on what it is your guys' roles are. So can you guys give us a little bit of in-depth, like, what is it particularly you guys do on board itself? And, like, let's just start with that.
All right, well, as a president of Circle K International at Sacramento State, my role is to essentially make sure that members get to see us and our events, as well as promote primarily towards like school itself and like the campus. And my role is to be the liaison between our student organization and leadership group and the club. So obviously, I am representative for Circle K at Sac State and also for Circle K International as a organization in itself.
That's such a big role. Like, that's such a heavy role.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Trust me. It's,
all that.
yeah, like trust me, it's pretty big.
So for me, as like a new member, I'm like, wow, that's a very big role, and I can't believe like what other things like you, including everyone on e-board, like have to do to run the club.
Yeah, so
crazy.
So part of the things about leading like the club and being that is that I also lead like board meetings and primarily lead general meetings. So it's like if you're a new member and you're coming to the event, I'm the primary one speaking. I'm the one transitioning everything. Mm-hmm. But I don't do that alone. In fact, I have not only the other members of my executive board, but I also have members of my appointed board, which my vice president of administration can talk to you more about.
Oh man.
So, Myki, what is it that you do?
Why do I get nervous every time I get the mic? Anyway, I get so nervous. Okay.
Don't be. It's like
Think of it as
We're just talking.
We're just
ignore the camera.
Ignore the cameras. Ignore the 4 or 5 cameras that are pointing in our direction and the TV that is showing us back. Just ignore that for a moment. Ignore that for a moment.
Look at Eli.
Yeah, ignore.
Eli makes me nervous
Look at
though.
Pablo.
Pablo makes me nervous.
Look at where's Tom Nook?
No, we're good. We're good.
Look
We're
at
good.
Tom.
The sloth.
We're good. We're
Tom
good.
Nook's in the back.
So, as Chio said, I am the vice president of administration, which I would just say it's like vice president, basically, kind of,
Ooh.
right? Don't do that. I don't like that. Means like I probably said it wrong. But basically, what vice president of administration is, basically what a vice president of administration would do is kind of serve as the right-hand person to the president, I would say, and kind of oversee what Chio brought up, which is appointed board. If we were to split board up, even though that sounds like wrong, but like it's basically executive board where people get elected, right?
Yeah.
And then appointed board where people get appointed, which they apply for and they go through like an interview process. And like for example, both Eli and Pablo are appointed board members.
And we're new members.
We're bored? Dude! Heck yeah, dude! Yo! I just met you too! Wow, this Circle K is awesome, man!
I basically oversee appointed board, and if you want, I would say appointed board's basically people who kind of specialize in certain things for the club. For example, Eli over here is media chair, which oversees kind of the like publicity side of it, similar to PR. I would guess you say creative aspects he covers, so he specializes in things like this podcast and vlog.
And you're the cameraman of the club,
Dude, I'm the camera dude. I'm
Cam
the camera
cam guy.
Yeah, I'm just the guy who just runs around, recording every, embarrassing moment.
Yeah, you know the vibes.
You
know the vibes. You know the
And
vibes.
putting up on full display for everyone to see at district events, no biggie.
No.
No biggie.
And then I would say Pablo is a service chair, which he says is pretty obvious, not obvious, it's in the name. He oversees service and kind of helps our vice president of service, which is another e-board member. But yeah, I basically just kind of assist everyone. I would say like if something goes wrong, people would go up to like e-board members or such. But I oversee A-board and I'm basically kind of helping out my e-board as well. So yeah.
Wow, you guys have a lot on your guys' plate in terms of what you guys do, but like in terms of what you do for the club, but also behind the scenes. I mean, does that ever get overwhelming for you guys? Like, I know for you, Chio, we'll get a little bit more into it over time, but I know for everyone listening in for the first time, whether you're a general member or not, this is basically Chio saying it's like third position at Sac State Circle K
In 3 years.
in 3 years, and he went up the ladder to become the president that he is today. And honestly, let's give a round of applause. Like everyone, like I'm gonna insert a clap track, audience clap track right now, but just to see his growth, especially being with him along the way, I just can't believe that he got to this point. But it's like, oh, it's amazing, really. But for that also alone, like also from Myki's perspective, this is her first position, second position. Again, I'm telling you, first position in the club. I'm telling you, I'm blending in all these years at once.
Every year,
Yeah.
it just feels the same.
But literally, like this is a very intensive like thing that happens behind the scenes. Like, tell me, do you guys feel like with all the work put in and all the stress that you put in, what, like, do you feel like it's all worth it in the end for members and for yourselves at least? Because I just wanted to say, like, you guys do a lot for the club. I want to acknowledge that, like, we're always acknowledging that, and we want everyone at home to know, like, these guys work their butts off. But, like, do you guys, like, how do you guys feel about it all?
Wow, Myki, you could start.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So as for like doing a lot of work that we do, I would say it's not overlooked, but people don't really realize how much we do because it's kind of how what we do helps run the club and how it normally functions. So like until it's gone, I feel like that's when people realize, well, they were the ones like behind it. But I mean, what keeps me going is just knowing that there's like people that still want to, you know, like for example, I would say our board this summer, like they're like the reasons why things were going, like they kept going, because they're doing things like helping with like their other A-board members and doing their own projects as well. So like things like that kind of help me do my work and assisting them and helping kind of like the club run. So that also helps me like have hope for the fall too, having maybe like new members come in and yeah, just things like that. I just hope.
Yeah, like us, dude. This is like our first year and we're already appointed.
Yeah. And like I also hope from like my own experience, someone who just came in last fall and like who other people who want to get involved, like I can kind of serve as like someone, be like, hey, I was in your position once. I'm gonna be in your position.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I lost track of what I was gonna say.
So you were like, oh, for new members coming in?
Yeah, for new members coming in, if they ever want to get involved, maybe not in the same intensity that I did, but like I can be like, oh, I was in your shoes and like I can help you out. But yeah.
Quick question. Are new members allowed to apply for any sort of positions within the club?
Oh.
This is exactly why we're gonna do a little sponsored segment right now, featuring our very own Myki. Oh, guys, this is our very first sponsored segment.
Whoa, sponsor?
Sponsor segment. So
Eli, who's our sponsor for today?
it's A-board applications sponsored featuring Myki. Go ahead, Myki. Tell everyone at home the sponsored segment for today.
So if you didn't know, there's actually some positions that you can get involved in as you come into the fall that will be reopening. up for you to apply to. So
No way.
as I mentioned before, appointed board, right? It's basically a bunch of people who specialize in certain things for the club. Currently, there are vacant positions that will be open in the fall for you guys to apply to. I believe it's 4 positions that are open for the fall for you to apply to. It is, I believe, fundraising chair, Kwanian's family relations chair, membership development and education chair, and public relations chair. And if I were to give like a small TLDR of each position, fundraising, as it's stated in the name, you kind of help with fundraising for the club, not just for us. It's basically fundraising money to, I would say, like, donate. Yeah, donate. And then Kiwanis Family Chair, basically, like I said earlier, CKI is under like the Kiwanis International Organization, and we also have, it basically has different levels to it, and with Kiwanis Family Relations Chair, you kind of connect us to those other branches of the Kiwanis International Organization. And then there's membership development and education, basically kind of guiding new members and their development of as general members in our club, and public relations, which is kind of like you kind of help with our image to like the rest of the world, like you would oversee social media. And yeah, those positions are open for you to apply to in the fall when we reopen them. But yeah, that'll be TBD, but it will open in the fall for new members if you guys would like to apply.
And Myki, where can they apply once it is available or is available?
You can look on our social media that I'm sure we will advertise the application, where you can download the application, fill it out, and send it to my VPA email, which is, do I say my email?
No.
You will find out my email once you apply. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And then I'm sure like our social media stuff will be like put somewhere. Just keep up with that. I'm insecure now.
So follow us on Facebook / Sac State Circle K. Also follow us on Sac State Instagram Circle K, and follow us on YouTube at Sac State Circle K. All right, back to our podcast. Wow, guys, that was a great sponsored segment. I can't believe we were able to talk about our fellow sponsorship and like, you know, going full, like, guys, I feel like this is it. We're up there as the best podcast out there.
I agree.
Yeah, because I don't know too many podcasts out there in Circle K.
Yeah, you're right.
So before I cut off Myki about the whole sponsored segment, we were talking about all the work put in for the club, and just wanted to give a little shout out to what goes on behind the scenes. But going into the fall semester, how do you feel about everything that's coming leading up to this moment? And do you feel that like stress weighing in, or do you feel like you got this in the bag, like everything has led you, 3 years of applying in different positions, and now you being the president of the club, the face, and everything?
This is a targeted question.
So this is like a very, very loaded question, but basically, how do you feel, Chio?
You ever heard of sicko mode? Because he was like, how do you feel? Oh my god, I do that to my brother. Like, I always ask him, oh, so how do you feel? And he just goes, Wah. Anyways. Yeah, that is a very loaded question. Damn, God. Alright, I think for me, so, like, obviously, the global pandemic really, like, ravaged everything that everyone was really expecting last year. Mm-hmm. And I think when I was VPS, I was, like, really thinking, like, oh, man, like, this is going to be a rough year, especially because, like limited capacity in, like, indoors, as well as limited gatherings in general, really kind of mess with the direction of how community service is done. And I think that Circle K all over at least the California, Nevada, Hawaii district did a pretty good job at transitioning community service to an online format and still made it as meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think doing that, it allows us to see that anything works when we put the time into it. And so I wouldn't say like all 3 years really led up to this moment, because I didn't expect this moment to happen.
Yeah.
But
exactly. You didn't expect
I know, yeah,
a national pandemic.
yeah, I'm gonna
where,
expect the world to get struck by a disease and
Yeah.
then legislation happen, but I think in terms of like navigating like everything and all of our challenges, I really do think that this upcoming fall, it's something that as long as we keep putting our best foot forward for, like just motivating ourselves and pushing for what we want out of it, then I think in turns people will like see that energy, because like I'm a firm believer in that like good energy attracts good energy. So like if we're trying to be as like as not positive but like as open, welcoming as possible, then people that are looking for that environment will just naturally come. And then as we continue to recycle that energy, it's something that will benefit us this term, and we'll probably see improvements. But that's honestly just, in my opinion, like my optimism, like really like shining through and trying to think that way. But ultimately, I feel that with the direction that we're going, as long as we keep, like the board is doing so well this summer, and we like have a lot of ideas. Everyone's like planning stuff. Every like single like board meeting we have, everyone like comes with like a new plan, a new thing to introduce, and it makes every meeting new. It's not like the same like structured as like assignments. It's always like, oh, I have this thing that I'm working on. It's like, oh, can you tell us a little bit more about that? And I think if we continue doing that into the fall, and we learn to balance that with like school and work, especially during the fall, spring, and winter, then it's something that we can look forward to, and that's something that we can build upon. And that's always like it's scaffolding. It's like a ladder. It's like a staircase and stuff like that.
Everything has built up itself up where you have a strong foundation, laying the groundwork for all these things to lay in place. Like I would say, I think with everything that has happened to us, that has changed in terms of society and like our club, ourselves, like this has kind of in a way built us up to be the best versions of ourselves, to put in the best work and make the best sort of content and provide it for members coming into the next semester and returning members as well. So like really there's a lot of great optimism and opportunity from new members and returning members. I'm very more so like having a good feeling about this sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's also
unlike most things that have happened in the club, but this is probably going to be the comeback story.
Yeah, it's like an underdog or whatever. But I also think that even though like we're trying to put out the best content in the world, we still we're human. We still make mistakes, and there's stuff that we will stumble over. But it's like us 18 to like 22, 23-year-olds, we're going through life, college, we're working, we're trying to find our career path. One little mistake in like this club like is just going to like push us forward. Like it shouldn't set us back. It shouldn't be something that we harp on people about.
Exactly.
It should be something that like, oh, okay, this is happening. This is the thing, and we move on from that, and we like push ourselves. So that way it's not like something that like, oh, I have to live with this fear forever. I will never advance forward, and this is where my life ends. No, you have like there's everything after it,
Exactly. It's great that you bring that up, because I remember not too long ago I was on a phone call with Pablo, and I was telling him like how not only does being in the club, like you're doing community service, you're doing it for the well-being of others and helping out the community itself, but there are so many things that members and us, like new members like us
oh my God.
can really take out of it. You brought it up earlier, like, which is great. Like I have met so many of my closest and albeit all my best friends, air quotes,
besties,
all my besties in the club. There's a running joke where I just like have everyone, like, I treat everyone as they're my best friend, but it kind of creates a very, like, you're in this, like, running joke with me, and we're just creating this,
You
like,
have entered Eli's best
yeah,
friend domain
you're
expansion.
domain. You have entered my domain expansion as best friends. That's my greatest power, being friends.
Yeah, that's your Jujutsu Kaisen.
My Jujutsu Kaisen.
That's your curse technique.
Yeah.
Your domain expansion.
You're just forced to being
The
my
best
best
friend
friend.
zone?
The best friend zone. But like stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Like that interaction with me and Chio, just talking about that, and like meeting Pablo and like Miti, like everything has kind of given me this opportunity to kind of help me grow and develop myself as a part of a board member and as a general member. I think you can gain a lot of wisdom and a lot of like character growth and development, not only just for doing, you know, community service or doing workshops or, you know, leading a whole club. Like you are essentially becoming the best possible version for yourself because you're surrounded with so many like-minded people and so many good-hearted people in their center, because they also want to push you forward. They also have the same, albeit they're not the same, but we all have the same problems. You know, we have to deal with like working a part-time job on the side, having to deal with so many classes. You know, of course, Circle K, we're trying to keep up with doing meetings, and we're also board officers, so that's also another thing. There's so many existing factors that pile on top of that. Like normally, like for someone coming in as a first time general member, they have a lot of, you know, concerns about doing all these things at once or learning it on the go. But if you just kind of see the value in what Circle K is all about, and again, surround yourself with so many good vibes and good people, you will really come out of it with a lot of growth, you know.
There's a lot of growth to be happening.
Yeah, exactly.
We should change our acronym to like GK. Growth K International.
K International. I like that. It's better. We're just coming up with the names today.
New branding.
I know.
Couch
KI. Growth KI. CGI.
Circle
Growth International.
Whoa.
See, look at that. Look at that.
you're
We're just coming up with so many great names. But I remember it was just like the whole time, like I was telling Pablo, like I feel like I made like the best memories in this club, and I like want to cry because like I'm very emotional right now. So no, I'm not gonna cry. This is the very first. We're not at that stage, you guys.
What? Eli cries during the podcast?
That's
The shock of...
That's gonna be the thumbnail. That's gonna just be me like sobbing like, Eli cried during the podcast. What? That happened. But so many good, like I made so many of my best friends.
So we've only been here for 5 minutes.
I know, even though I'm a general member. Which you can apply during this upcoming fall at the Sac State Circle K Facebook page. Go ahead and join if you can, and join the Discord as well. Yeah, guys, that's look at that. So much to like talk about and like to reflect and unpack in just the first episode. Pablo, give us a last burning question, or actually something kind of less heavy, because
this question would probably
get in the center, get in there. Yeah, you know what? Here you go, Pablo. Here, let's trade Pablo. You can be the.
You're in the chair now.
Yeah, I overthrow Eli.
All right.
Alright.
Go ahead.
So, this question is probably better answered by Chio.
Oh my god.
But Chio, even though we're making jokes of me and Eli being a part of this club for only 5 minutes, you and me both know that we have worked together for 3 years now.
God. Honestly?
I have been with you since you were a baby.
Honestly?
How is it different being a board member? Even though, obviously, like videography and stuff, has a little bit less responsibilities than being president. But how does it compare being on board in person to being on board online?
All right. Well, yeah. So for those of you guys that are tuning in, my CKI journey in Sac State goes from my first year. I saw the videographer position open, and I applied. And then after that, I became vice president of service the next term, which was the online term. And now this term, I serve as your president. And funnily enough, also more Sac State CKI lore. Pablo was my historian co. So we worked together the first year. And then the second year, he was Turkey family head. And now he is also service chair on my appointed board. And so basically, I'll tell you, like the differences are very big. Like it's there. You will know that this is CKI online or this is CKI in person. And a lot of like older members or like returning members, they will always talk about, oh yeah, CKI in person, and this is like what we like look back to and look forward to returning to. Like a returning member, haha, funny joke, huh? That's a knee slapper. Everyone slapped their knees. I wasn't expecting you to slap your knee. No, but yeah. So like, I think a lot of older members they talk about returning to CKI in person, and in person has a lot of like that like physical connection, that like social connection that really emphasize this kind of like progress, especially in college. But I also think that online was able to do that. Like Myki, she joined this last fall, which was a completely online term, and still was able to bond and develop leadership skills just as much as I would during my first like fall semester. And I still think that's pretty good. And I think that the differences is that you obviously don't see people in person, but at the same time, you still have the ability to connect with someone emotionally, socially, all that good junk. And then along with that, there's just this level of like progress that everyone, like you just see everyone, like no matter what, progress was made. We all moved through the online term. We all moved through the pandemic, and we're still moving through the pandemic, but we're always like we're pushing through. And like that's the good thing, is that every single new member that joined this last year, every returning member that stayed through the pandemic, everyone showed like this like everyone like leveled up, you know, like Legend of Zelda or like Pokemon. Like all of us are Pokemons and we all leveled up, you know, like it's because it's so crazy, and you know that's like just how the nature of things are. We developed our skills, and that's something that's like really commendable. We all adapt, and we all were able to like morph ourselves to this strange new territory. And that's something that's like I think is similar between an online and in-person term, is this ability to grow and transform and be better. Ooh.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, now.
Let's go.
Now a question for Myki.
Oh.
You know.
Yes, give her the questions. I'm tired of answering.
Also, like I mentioned before, even though me and Eli are making the jokes of us being new, Myki's the one that's actually kind of new. She's only been in the club for a year.
She kind of.
And normally, when people want to gravitate to board, the first thing they think of is A board.
Yeah,
you know?
Appointed board.
I also applied for A board.
Appointed board.
But you went a whole different route. You said, nah,
you.
A board?
Right there.
You said A board? No. People
VPA.
usually say A board.
The only A I want is the VPA.
People usually use A board as a stepping stone to get into A board, but you said, nah, I'm going to go straight for VPA. How do you feel so far as VPA?
How do you feel about just going for that A? Just like, yeet, I'm gonna go for that VPA position. Skirt.
How do I rebuttal from that?
How do you rebuttal?
You're right. I just went for like VPA. I went through elections, which is, I can't imagine it in person, to be honest, because I was already nerve-wracking like online. So
Oh man.
can't wait to experience that next term.
Does
No.
that mean you're applying again for E-board?
We shall
Anyway.
see. Anyways.
on my mind.
So glad we're recording this and we're just like anything you say is gonna be uploaded. So you gotta be careful what you got.
Can't back that no like someone I know. Woo. I ain't saying any names, but
Oh.
Cut.
We're
cut.
not we're not there yet, man.
It's only the first episode.
Alright, so we're gonna cut from Pablo's question to Myki talking now. Myki.
Basically, VPA so far, honestly, it's been alright. No, I'm scared. No.
So the moment I'm just like, look at the cameras and like, whatever you say, Myki, is gonna be online. So
Okay, VPA so far has been alright. Honestly, I think it's more the good definitely outweighs like the struggles that has happened so far. Obviously, like at first I felt kind of not confused, but like very like I don't know what I'm doing, because obviously, like you said, I just went straight for like an e-board position. So in general, I just didn't know what it meant yet to be a leader in Circle K. But I mean, I had support from like people like my predecessors or like Chio or even like my A-board members now. Like everyone kind of has like faith, or like they kind of believe in me in order to like, you know, follow through like what being a leader for like people right now. But you know, it's also like that moment of like, I don't know what I'm doing, because like everyone on A-board right now has been on A-board or like has been a board member for a minute, and it's weird because Pablo like calling me mom, but like I am legit older than everyone that's on A-board.
you're older than everyone on A-board?
I mean, you're older than me. I'm not meant to talk on a podcast. Everyone is older than me, so like I kind of feel intimidated, like oh, they know more than me, so like what am I doing here in this position? But then they're all very reassuring with their work and like telling me, like not telling me, but kind of indirectly being like, I believe in you, you got this. So things like that kind of like keep me going for being VPA. But so far it's been good. I can't wait for what's in store. I feel like it'll hit me once fall hits me, because like I've never experienced like
It'll hit.
It's gonna hit soon.
It's gonna hit me. I can feel it.
But so far, to like TLDR, it's been great. I like it.
Cancel
This
button.
is why we have a cancel button. So in editing, you guys don't know what I just said because we just pressed the cancel button.
Nice. Alright, we should probably wrap it up. It's almost an hour.
Are we?
Yeah, 6:22.
No way. Wait, no way. Hold on. We're recording. It's only been 40 minutes.
That's almost an hour.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how we're gonna end outro this. So
I got it. I got one.
what?
I have an outro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which outro, Chio?
Thank you so much for listening to Sac State Couch KI. We hope to see you guys in the next episode. Follow us on all of our social media. Sac State Circle K International on Facebook as a group, but we also have Circle K International at Sacramento State as a like page. If you like to follow us on Instagram, that's at Sac State CKI. Our Discord is Sac State CKI Official, and if you want the link, that will be in our... If you want the link, it'll be in our link tree. We also have a bunch of other social media, but check us out. We also have a YouTube page, Sac State Circle K, where Eli posts a lot of videos, and I'm pretty sure this podcast is going to be there, so stay tuned for all that.
I didn't know we were presenting the Connect with Us slide.
Yeah, I didn't know we were gonna present the Connect with Us slide as the outro. But any last things you guys want to say? You guys obviously follow us on social media. Literally, Chio just went over the slide page.
I really did.
The Connect with Us slide page.
Follow us on TikTok. Or
Follow us on the TikTok and the Flickr. Yeah, if you guys want, please follow. Give a subscribe. Like this video. Share. I know I'm gonna say every cliche possible for YouTube, but we got to. So please subscribe. So yeah. Guys, thank you for coming out to film the very first episode of the Sac State Couch CKI.
We'll get it right.
Couch KI. We're gonna do all that stuff later.
Our logo should be a couch.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna animate a couch, and well, we'll have all the things worked out. So please stay tuned for hopefully things to run a little bit more smoothly. I'm sorry. I apologize for the 4:3 aspect ratio. I also watched.
He's not.
I just really like Zack Snyder's Justice League, so I really like this aspect ratio. So don't cancel me for that, okay, Myki? I can't believe I bought a canceled button. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
See you guys in the next one.
Bye bye.
See you later.
Everywhere you look,
Alligator.
Everywhere you go.
Bye.
It's a hot.
you need to stop with the button.
Cancel me T singing.
All right.